Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Miami. The bad teams, they're gone.
Bang. God.
Boom, eliminated. Adios, friends.
I'm so happy now.
Yeah, out of the bottom 8 teams of the Pro League, top 2 progressed through. Congratulations to those guys. They make it through to the playoff bracket, and now things get interesting, gents. Now we get to the important stuff, where our players are going to compete for $1.25 million.
It's quite a bit.
Biggest tournament outside of COD Champs ever. And here's a look at our bracket, how things stand at the top side. Heretics LG. That's going to be over on Alpha, but they've brought us a better game right here on Bravo. Reciprocity, EG.
Hey, this is the part of the tournament, well, the start of the tournament, really, where it just gets better and better as time goes on. This is where the Game 5 start to kick in.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where things just get really exciting. Like Heretics Luminosity, well, Heretics have a roster change. They've been consistently top 8. Where do they stand now? And then how the hell good is LG? It's a who-knows kind of situation. And then they get fed into Optic, which is incredibly entertaining. And then, of course, for us, we got Rec and EvilGeniuses and Reciprocity, another team that has had an incredibly interesting year thus far. Another roster change comes in for them. How good can they be? And then EG, 6-0 on the day. It literally could not be better for EvilGeniuses so far.
I give full credit to EvilGeniuses because they have been respecting the time with all the staff members here in Miami. A quick 3-0 followed by an even quicker 3-0. Now, though, it's time to get to business.
Now it's time for Game 5.
Yes, more than likely. Speaking to Merc before this series, and he kind of laughed. He went, Rec EG? Yeah, that's probably going Game 5. It's just how it seems, right? Reciprocity, a lot to prove, and I believe it was rated on Twitter a little earlier on saying, now I'm just wishing for the best for the remaining Europeans. It's been a bad year for Europe all around. And if I'm honest, he's absolutely right. Reciprocity had a great performance, top 3 finish. Now, with the hopes and dreams of the Europeans on their backs, of course, don't forget Heretics on the top side of the bracket. Good luck to those guys, of course. But for Reciprocity, nations on their back. A lot of stress. Stress indeed.
I mean, you talk about stress, but this is a map I am incredibly interested in seeing them on. It is the new SOG. Now we get a SOG-heavy map where we have seen 10 at a time. Zed gets the first 2 kills. Rec wins the opening break. Should they find this final man? But when I saw that we were going to hit scan for a SOG, the first thought I had was, I'm sorry, Dylan gets better?
Yeah.
You buff this man? I am expecting the world and then some.
Obviously, early on when we casted this map, we saw 4 Sorgs. At the time, there was actually 5 when the ARs grabbed their hands. It was a Sorg fest off the rip. Zed, Alex, Dylan, all rocking the Sorgs. Maddox in his hand, and of course Dens, you always expect to see him with the assault rifle. Curious to see how EG want to react to that, and whether the 3 subs is going to be throughout the entire map, because that's kind of what we expected, right? We talked about the 3 Sorg better and how things changed. Earlier on when we saw 4, we both kind of looked at each other and went, oh, well, this is different. This isn't what either of us really expected. But 3, manageable. What we kind of think is going to become the new norm, I should say, on frequency.
And it looks like that's going to be fairly the case. Apathy takes a toll off the map. I didn't see the mini-map from when it happened. I'm guessing he got a horrible spawn, tried to give himself a better because he had teammates in the back, but unsuccessful. It's a nice attempt, but realistically, its Reciprocity have been perfect thus far. Not a single point for EvilGeniuses, and eventually they will get one. The question is, how long is it going to take? Because Rec, they look pretty good on the hold so far on second.
Sure about them getting the point?
Eventually they will. Eventually.
So far, Rec, absolutely flawless, and now it's going to get even worse for EG. They're spawning out for P3. They'll grab a little bit of scrap time, so yeah, there's your time, but if you're a Rec now, you just spawn, you rotate, and you look at really doing some damage on the first rotation of Hills. And what's funny is, the conversation so often is, whenever we get to even Championship Sunday, and teams go on a big loser bracket runs, well, they've been playing all day, they're nice and warm, they're ready to go. Rec hasn't played at all today. They've obviously scrimmed and they've practiced against some other teams. EG's played 2 full-on competitive games, 2 quick 3-0s. And this is what you're getting out of Reciprocity. They were eager, they were ready, they were waiting for this game.
And I will say, though, there might be just a steep rise in competition level for EG. I mean, yeah, UIU looked good in their first series, but the teams that were being played at the bottom, I mean, there might be a huge discrepancy from them and the team towards the top.
Oh, it's just 3 pieces inside the hill. Almost grabs 4 with the ICR, and we'll say Apathy right now is being exposed a little bit. 1 and 10, not the performance which is going to be good enough when you're going up against the likes of Dylan, Zed with a great performance at 10 and 7, even Alex holding his own for the majority of this map with the Sorg. 9 and 7, he sits at. I mean, the race to specialists in terms of grab slam, it's just not close. It's just not close at all. And EG, at some point, they're going to have to wake up. And this could get scary if Alex is going to get the streaks. There's the plus 50, just like that. Lightning earned a kill. We'll give him the Hellstorm.
And think about the roster change that Reciprocity had, right? Like, when they were playing with Shawnee, they were still a fantastic team, right?
Sure.
But what Alex brings is, hey, if Frequency is now a 3-SOG map, well, Alex is going to be incredibly suited for the job. So I think it just opens up a world of possibilities for the team, which, at least in map number 1, looks to be going pretty well.
And I think that's the key as well. I think most people may look at Alex as kind of a supporting cast. But in reality, he's a player who, you know, given the right time, can pop off on his own. I mean, you see that here. He already has a streak to his name. And it's really about the slow start from Apathy and JCap. Desperate need for them to step things up, because this score line, at least, was getting a little out of hand and a little embarrassing. 104 to 43 as EG claw back some time. The deficit will be around about 50 points when we head into the second rotation of Hills. But the big problem for me, Alex still with that line.
And of course, not just that, it's just the extra SOG on the map, right? You have Reciprocity, who seem to be running consistent 3 SOGs the entire time. Meanwhile, Exotic and JCap, it's seeming like for the most part they've had the Maddoxes out, unless I've just miscounted the feed, but it seems like Rec generally has an extra one. And keep in mind, we've already seen some teams that are running 4 SOGs on the map.
He is playing such a pace, so aggressive. He's working towards some streaks as well. Hill goes back in favor of EG, and JCap to turn things around. He has a lightning, but Dylan may be able to answer with some streaks of his own. And now Alex invested his. But JCap's going to get the Hellstorm as well. In flies Reciprocity. A little bit of bait, you would assume there for Dylan, but he does fall. JCap doing his best to bring EG back into this, attached with a triple. And has had a small influence on the spawn. Not a massive one at that. But either way, EG coming back into this game now.
Yeah, and you got the play set up for you, right? Reciprocity, 1-man spawning out. That means you call him the Hellstorm. Try to kill the guy in elbow. Of course, the guy in elbow might have actually been able to find one, and he team kills, but he does eventually find Zed, and it's good enough. EG are able to secure the back spawn, so the team kill unfortunate, but you spawn right in the back, you're good to go.
Chance, here's the scary thing for me. Dylan is 21 and 10. Apathy is 4 and 19. We've already seen Dylan use his grab slam. He used it P1, second rotation. He's almost about the same point of progression. You know, when you talk about the effect that grab slam can have specifically on this map, it's definitely a very, very powerful specialist. And you're at the point now where Reciprocity may even have their second before EG even have their first.
Of course, on the hill that you actually use the streaks, it seemed to be going really well. You end up getting 3 team kills. So you got your main SOG that is now quintuple negative, if that's even the right word for it, after you get past 5. I really can't keep track of what you call it after that, but not going pretty well. And I will say, it's not like EKIA, he's that much higher, right? If he's only halfway to his grab, that means at best he's at 10 EKIA, so production is simply not there. And I think a factor absolutely has to be the number of SOGs they have on the map. I wouldn't be surprised if App is just by himself more consistently, dealing with 3 SOGs at times. And of course, you talk about streaks. Well, Dylan, round number 2, his second chance at getting even closer.
And the big difference here is, look at the Wolfpack mentality Reciprocity decided to do. He knows EKAs, that's all he needs for streaks. He just needs to challenge, trade. 50 points will do. Flamethrower isn't enough to shut him down, almost escaped with his life. A 70-point lead. Lightning earned for Dylan. Now you have a situation where Apathy has actually started to heat up a little bit. 6th streak for him. 135 away from a lightning strike, and despite what, for lack of a better word, awful start to the game, EG can still do some damage here. It's not over.
And then he died. He was getting close to the streaks. He just want to get the hill time when it pops, and then just not prepared for the gunfight. So it's just going to be JCap sitting on top of the lightning, and it's actually Dylan that invests his lightning first and is able to take down Attach at the very least. But I was going to say, JCap just respond in kind, call yours in, and see what you can find. Forces the players down, and Exotic, well, he can pull out the Tempest potentially if he wants, but not quite yet. Meanwhile, Attach is doing the old Clay impression. At the same time, Envy in the hill, or excuse me, EG, at least just for a second, then Dylan just comes soaring through.
Map has earned his grab slam now. Double neg, 11 and 22. Dylan about to get his second, 13 and 13. The different pace of the subs from Reciprocity has been too much to handle for EvilGeniuses so far, but as we said, it's not over just yet. 15 seconds of scrap time. EG looking good to pick that up. Now it's on the rotation, and Attachers won a massive gunfight on the other side of the map. In fact, that's two, so rotation in for EG. This is where they can come back into this game.
Where they're going to have to come back in the game as well. You got Apathy going on a bit of a journey to try to use the grab. Meanwhile, the Tempest shuts down the grab on the other side. Exotic saved it from the last hill to use it here. So far, so good, because you can see Dylan, he gets zero progression. Now Exotic taking out every grab slant on the map if he can, but Apathy comes around and finds two, so it takes a couple of specialists. But now you got EG creeping and crawling right back in this game.
Exotic close to streaks of his own. Attached still with a War Machine to use, should he want to. That's important for him. No fall. Busking with a good stun. Because he's looking at trying to lock down the spawns for the squad, and he's done so. But, and I can't believe I'm saying this, we're approaching a situation now where there's going to be a lead change. With how this game started, you would have thought Reciprocity would 100-point clubbed EG.
Well, keep in mind, though, the second hill has been a very big struggle for EG. Even they were using streaks to successfully get the spawns, they haven't been able to get through. This time, though, Reciprocity, a couple guys are spawning out, so the pressure's on Dylan. What can he find? Death from the hands of JCap. Now you got Alex, two players up top. Easy kills for him. And Rec, well, they still have those back spawns.
Yeah. One player from Rex spawned out, but then a couple more players from EG spawned behind him. Attach pulls out the War Machine, gets absolutely nothing. Alex gets a free double, and Accuracy isn't able to trade that. Alex gets three. So he's basically killed everyone mid-map, pops his crash, 150 away from streaks now. Is it even going to matter? That's the question. Because Reciprocity really applying the pressure on the back side of the map. Might not even need the streaks to win the map. As the subs are just so good from Rack.
And I mean, yeah, and keep in mind, that was a lightning strike used. EG, again, were able to get the back spawns, and Rex says, all right, that's cool. We'll stack up everybody inside, we'll do it from the front, and they have just been shredding on the way. And yes, the streaks are nice, but you pointed out that probably just aren't going to need them. The rotation battle is going to be won by Reciprocity once again, despite, like, already have a lead. 25 points isn't a ton, but they are so pushed out. They got players in you. Once they start getting this hill time, pressure's on EG. They're going to have to break, and they got to do it instantly. And they are still spawning so far out, and Alex is going to start calling in streaks.
Yeah, and there's just too much as well. You look at Wiskin, he has his Tempest. Zed, he's called in his War Machine now. Dylan's going to get his third grab slam. Of course, the second one only charged halfway through. Everything is out. The streaks galore, the kills galore for Reciprocity. There was a couple of swift 3-0s for EG to start their day and to get to the playoff bracket. Reciprocity are going to slow down any momentum you thought EvilGeniuses had here in Game 1.
Well, EG, though, they do a good enough job to contest just to make sure that Dylan can get the 40 bomb. 40 and 21 at the moment, and maybe he's able to get a couple more to put the stamp on it. Gets up the, well, the 41 and 22. But EG, then they're not out of it yet.
Yes, they are. This game has been over for quite some time. Insert that to come back here. And it's gone.
Okay, there we go.
As we said, a formality. I'm just waiting for Reciprocity to close it out. And, well, if you had any questions about what a sub buff was going to look like for the Reciprocity squad, it's pretty good.
You get a 40 bomb first map at an event. It is fantastic stuff from Dylan, who one of the standout players of the year, rookie of the year contender, MVP.